Good morning, traders, and welcome to the Bookmap live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we will be going through live analysis here in the markets. We do this every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Tomorrow we have Jay Trader, a stocks trader, and he will be trading live. And his style of trading, and then Scott Bolsini, a futures trader, his style of trading on Thursday at 10 a.m. As well, we have Tom B. He is back, so look for the redirect after this webinar to the 11:30 event with Tom B. And he'll go for about an hour and a half in the afternoon, into the afternoon East Coast time. And we've been having lots of events also in the afternoon on some of the functionality and new features in Bookmap. And we also had Doug Pless last week. Some great stuff. You might want to follow along in Discord. Some really great stuff in there. So you might want to check that out. And his webinar as well. I can show you where his webinar is that he did, and he'll be doing another Pro Trader webinar rather soon in mid-September. Here's the webinar for Doug, Options Strategies with Doug. It was excellent, so check it out. Doug's in Discord here if you want to ask questions. So is Tom. All these great resources for you guys, and this is all free. I mean, that's pretty nice, pretty good stuff. Hope you can take advantage of them. Good morning, PJ Strong. Okay, all right, let's go through the disclosures here quickly, and then we'll jump right into the S&P. General disclosure. All Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Good morning, JC. Good morning, Bert, and others over in Discord. Yeah, let's jump right in and see what's going on here. All right, so S&P selling off here after we saw a bump yesterday, and yeah, still selling off. Just another barrage of selling coming in right now. Looking for the 4,000 figure down here. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at the market structure on this move right now and see what's going on. Okay, so there's no reason to get out of any short trade here. The bias is down. And until we see something different, this is a pretty strong move from 20 down to 13 already. This is the kind of move we look for. Okay, just after 10 o'clock or 10:05 here. Yeah, we will get pullbacks in here, but this is a strong move. Okay, it's on strong volume and looking for it to continue. All right, so let's also go through opposite scenarios where we are going to get pullbacks in here. Where? So let's take a look here. Well, the first one is already doing it right here. Okay, second one is up here. I like this transaction here at that high liquidity at 15, and then boy, it's pretty clear sailing all the way up to, there's little clusters in here you can see, but it's back up to where it originated. Would be a full retracement here up to 20. Now I doubt that will happen. We never know. We got to go through the scenarios though. So we've gotten this pullback 1, pullback 2 here, and then let's take a look at the volume within and the order flow within the pullback here. Okay, so not bad, a little bit of volume in here, but it's a lot of selling in here. So we look for the move back down to the bottom of the range and a trend move, a continuation move. Okay, it's done the pullback. All right, so now these can be really great areas for your for looking for entries into these areas where it's pulling back. Okay, and you can see it's already back down to 10. Yeah, still looking for 05 down below here, and then the figure down here at 4,000. Okay, so not until we see something different in here in the market structure. Now we covered market structure in detail yesterday. Do you guys have any questions on that? It's actually very simple and straightforward stuff. I'll go over it again today. I think it's extremely important to understand market structure. Now, the funny thing is, the market structure that we're looking at and the education that we have, on the lowest time frame that there is, like a binary transaction, just like an atomic event of orders transacting, that will work in the market structure that we're talking about, all the way up to a monthly chart or whatever it is that you're looking at. It is the same. Okay, it's quite an important and it's quite a lofty statement, however, you can lean on it. All right, so here again is a pullback, right? First pullback to 10, second pullback to about 12 here, 1250. I would anticipate another pullback. This is a deeper pullback now. It's come back to where it broke from here. Okay, but we would still look for the continuation to the downside. The one thing we want to look at is the transactions and the orders within this area here in the pullback. Okay, so and let's take a quick look at it, because look at the volume here and then in here. All right, so there is quite a bit of selling here, but there's quite a bit of buying. Okay, so we may get pops up above here. However, we're going with the trend until we see something different. All right, so these are pullbacks in here. Maybe a kind of a stop run up above here, and then I'm looking for it to fail and then come back in. Okay, so and then looking for maybe the first test to the bottom of this range right here at 09.25 or so. Okay, this is great volatility. I love it. Yeah, we're already getting that pullback. See what we were talking about, the pop up bid above here. Okay, but a pullback. All right, so our pullback is just unfolding here. Yeah, you know, we might get one more pop up here. There's quite a bit of volume in here. This is where we can really put the structure and the order flow together to really glean something here and get an edge using this product here. Okay, is there a link to yesterday's video? Yeah, sure. I mean, you'll see it. Let me show you where that is. No problem. I'll show you where it all is in here. So if you go to if you go to YouTube and research or search for Bookmap, it's Bookmap_Pro. You'll see it here. These are the live videos, upcoming streams, and my stream. And then we have the Pro Trader webinar series here. We have Doug, that was on Friday, and then the live stream recordings here. So this is the one from yesterday. Okay. Yeah, that should help you out with that, Sasha. So okay, guys. So where do we leave off? Okay, pullback and then continuation. You know, we can still see it bouncing around in here. This is where we have to be kind of careful, is because the volume is starting to pick up in here. We're reading the order flow within the market structure here. Okay, and we're still you know, looking for a bias, or we're bearish here still, even with the market structure. It came up above this area, but it failed and it's back down. We're looking for the push into 05. Okay, and then looking for a beautiful stop run. Maybe we can go all the way from 05 down to the figure here at 4,000. Now that's the big figure here. I mean, we have the $1,000 figure here. All right, so or point figure. All right, so there's going to be a lot of events happening around the figure here. Okay, so there we go. There's a move into 05. Okay, still looking for continuation until we see something different. Now let's look at the volume and the order flow in here. So they just got filled in here. They stayed in the order book and they're still here. Okay, at 05. All right, well, what's the reaction in here? Okay, sellers, I'm looking for sellers to take them on and trade through. Here they go. There, they traded into them. They got filled. So this liquidity got filled in here, and let's see if we get some more sellers in here and try to move it back down into next level is 02, and then the figure. One thing to note, now we see this all the time, and this is why we want to read the volume and transactions within this structure in here, as well as the liquidity, the heat map in here. Okay, is because this exactly. So we get a lot of covering, we get profit taking, we get maybe some buyers starting to come in, okay, before the figure. This is very, very typical. We've covered this for years, how you can see this. And this is why when you get down close to the figure, you might want to consider taking profit because everyone else is. Right, and then it will likely trade down to the figure, but it might come up to 20 here. It might come up above it. We've seen everything. The market structure, I mean, look at how thin. You can even look at the volume profile in here, how thin it is in here. Okay, this is extremely typical in strong moves like this. It's all selling. It's a strong move. It's away from a previous value area, or I hate to use kind of market volume profile or market profile terminology. What we're just talking about is an area where price went back and forth. It did have lower highs, lower lows in the structure. We would look for a break of it, and in this break here, we got a strong one and a push through, and a beautiful little pullback here, and then the continuation of the move down into here. Okay, one more down a bit lower into 05. So this area in here, even though it's strong sell volume, this, I mean, this is really simple stuff. I know you guys know this. But this is what we want to recognize is who's taking control of moving the market away from value areas, okay, or consolidation periods. And then we look for continuation, right? Now, these areas, though, very thinly traded up here, okay, even though it's strong sell volume, because look at all of the transactions back and forth in here, add them all up, you get your profile. Okay, this is how you get these single prints or within your market profile, or just like thinly traded volume areas in here. Okay, so it didn't really auction in here, it just blazed right through it. Okay, so returning back here and trying to fill in or starting to understand like what is the value up here, we can see those kinds of things unfold before we hit the figure. That's what I want to get at here. All right, now how are we going to read that? How are we going to know? Well, we're going to look at the volume within this structural area right here, right now. Okay, so how's it doing? Well, let's look at the volume. Look at the bars, look at the dots, and look at the higher highs and higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows. Okay, the market structure. Okay, even though we see this strong volume in here, we are still bearish. They could not come up to here. Up to this 4012 area. They made even a lower high here, and they continue to make lower highs. Okay, so with that said, we might get a little bit of a bounce here because this is where these buyers came in, and that's pretty strong volume. All right, but we are looking for the test back into 05, and let's see if we can get. It's going to be a battle here. Okay, I'm still looking for sellers though. Okay, that's how important market structure is. Okay, even though we see control in here, okay, by buyers coming in right in here, okay, and we are anticipating bounces, it is market structure in here. If the buyers can't come back and attack these areas, you can see in here, they're struggling. Okay, well, watch capitulation, watch sellers come in, watch the move back down into the figure. All right, so these are considerations in the order flow, okay, in the structure that we're looking at. And let's see it. Let's see if these sellers come in. We might get one more attack here, but I'm looking for sellers. And let's see here. Okay, Doug, thank you. 4011 is a spot gamma support level. 45 is a SPY 400 put wall, another support level. So there you go. There's other reasons that it's just not profit taking in here. We got some pretty heavy options data there, right? And it's just actually bouncing around, interestingly enough, between 11 and 05 right now. Okay, still though, look at the market structure. Okay. Okay, again, lower high. Okay, this might be a higher low in here. We're not quite sure yet. Kind of getting interesting right here, right? Okay, it is. Okay, now they breach this, looking for a pullback to probably here. See if we can get that, and then maybe we can get more buyers to come back in and reach some of these other previous swings here. Okay, we're looking for it. Now, that would be a scenario here. Another scenario is if we get sellers below 07, look out. Like we typically see this as well, and we have to be very in tune to this here. That this is going to be buying back up here that fails, and we get below 07, the sellers come in, and then that's when they take control. Okay, so we're watching this 07 area here. Okay, there's some exhaustion. Let's see if the sellers come in and try to reach 07. No, not yet. Okay, there's a retest. Here's another one. Okay, some buyers coming in. Okay, back up into all of these levels here. Note how we saw that here. It sounds ridiculous. However, it's just we're talking about like a couple ticks in here. Okay, we're also looking at these in here. Like it made almost an equal high. It was still made a lower high in here. Okay, by a tick. And then we had a higher low in here. And yeah, you can look for these things to unfold. Okay, now let's take a look and see if we tested up the top of the range here. Okay, I got CVD in here. Let me get rid of that. And let's see if we can now see sellers come in. And no, here we go. Okay, sellers now 07. Here's the break. It's not a lot of control taken by the sellers in here. Okay, but just looking for this test to 07. And let's see, can they follow through? Down to 05. Not getting much out of the order book. We just have high liquidity here at 12 and down here at 05. All right, here's our retest. Here's our sellers. We should get our move. Now, let's look at this here. This is where it can get confusing, but let's just go through. This cluster of buying all above this 07 area can be the fuel to the fire into 4,000. This is a very typical kind of order flow event that we see in here. All right, anyway, that's one scenario. Got to go through the other one. Okay, and then we go through these scenarios and we're looking for something, we're stalking it. We're looking for weakness in here or an advantage, basically. Okay, here's high liquidity here that transacted. What's the reaction after that? Okay, we're getting our answer. right, sellers. Now let's see the push through then. Okay, 05. Boy, it's quite an ugly looking profile there. Let's see, Bert. So we wait until a retest of the ES and SPY put wall before we get short again. This is, you'd have to reach out to Doug on that one. Guys, there's our move. That's exactly what we're looking for. Precisely what we're looking for. Okay, still looking for 4,000 and through it. I mean, there's a lot here, but we usually, I mean, this is, we go through the scenarios again in the order flow. Okay, looking for the move into it, through it, maybe 5 points through it, but usually a little bit less. I mean, we've seen 7 points through it, and then it comes back up above 4,000. Okay, beautiful stop run. Icebergs all over the place in here. Icebergs on the buy side, icebergs on the sell side. Okay, so there's a lot going on in here. I mean, obviously, this is a huge figure right here. Bearish profile, Kevson. Yeah, I don't know about this cluster in here. I mean, just bearish by structure. This is where I think a profile just doesn't really give you too much. When you have the P-shaped or B-shaped, you kind of see the skew in the profile. This is just one kind of big ugly clump. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we just went through a lot in here. I don't know, hopefully I can review all that, but we went through a lot of different things to look at in here for that follow-through event. Is there any questions on any of this? There's a lot of details in here. Oh, thanks, JC. But you know, this is so typical of what we see. You know, this is the fuel for this move here, and there's our stop run to prove it. All right, but you know, this market structure is just so key to understand. Okay, now look at the bulls come in, and we haven't hit the figure yet though. Okay, so again, you know, pushing this, trying to push it higher, trying to push it back into this previous area up here where it was transacting. Okay, and now we can look at the profile in here and look at our high volume node in here. And again, this is just really simple stuff. It's not complex. We're just looking at where it traded the most, what does that mean? It means most people agreed upon that price. Okay, now how does price react to it? Okay, so far, even this here, you can still be bearish. This is just a test back to that most traded area. Okay, now the funny thing is we're still not seeing much in the order book here. It's really just the aggressors taking this back and forth in here. I mean, I know that this is very high liquidity down here, so you know, that does make a difference. It will skew the auction. If we zoom in here, you know, we're going to see a little bit more, you know, liquidity, etc. Just because all those 500 contracts are out of the picture right now, out of the calculation. So there's some considerations when that happens in here. This is one of the details in the heat map. You can right click in the heat map, and then you can you know, add in a little bit more in here. with your upper and lower cutoffs to get that value back. Okay, so what that does here on the upper cutoff, just so you guys know, these are times when I will use these. I usually just use the default restore, restore it here, and I use default. It works great for me. But see how we're not getting, this is such a big value down here. So what we do is we just bring down that upper cutoff, which means that the upper range here, we've lowered it. And it's only 20% a range in here, but it really makes a difference. Okay, that upper cutoff and the 20%, or what, 80% on the lower cutoff here. Okay, so anyway, you can see the values in here, and how you can get more out of that heat map. Okay, at those times. Okay, we got a POC shift. Yeah, banging around back and forth between these two, I guess, huh? Oh, okay. No, from way up here. Yeah, from here down to here. Okay, these are, well, these were pretty close. Now it's this one's the biggest. These are the stops down here. Oh boy. Nick, you have the free version of Bookmap, and that I have way more bubbles. Yeah, I'm actually using default also for bubbles. We went through this in the, go to volume dots here. It's in studies configuration here, volume dots, or you can also right click on them in here and go to volume dot settings. There's lots of different ways to filter for them in here. Here's mine. It's basically I take the smart and I move that clustering down to just very minute, and then I bring down the size, and that's it. That's really all I do. Okay, so I'm going to point you to this video in here, or this webinar we had last week or a couple of weeks ago on volume dots, to go through all the minimum displayed and trade size and the clustering in here. But play around with them. You can see that you'll get very different results in here. I usually just leave it on default because it's much easier. There is a reason that I like it as well, is because I want to see the consistency and the strength in a move. If I start to filter it out, I'll see a big volume dot here, maybe a big volume dot down here, and I don't know if it's a strong move that's moving the market. Okay, that's something I want to know, or I want to look at. Other people, they don't care. They're just looking for big clusters of transactions. Aloha, Crypto Surfer. Okay, he's using the free version of TOS. Aggregates the data. Aggravates the data. Yeah, and they're not using Rhythmic. All right, guys. Well, I'm sorry. These questions, and we're bouncing off of Kevson had said that this had dropped down. Good idea to put that on there. Here's our move into the figure, guys. Okay, again, still looking for more, right? Usually, like we said, 2, 3, 4 points, maybe 5, maybe 7, but boy, it's basically the way I kind of always view this kind of order flow in here is this is the hook. Oh, I'm a seller below 4,000. Get some time, acceptance, some volume down below here, and then yank it away, and then come back up to POC. All right. Again, this is something these are possible scenarios, or let's put it this way. These are possible scenarios for sure, and we will cover them. They're possible trading strategies that you can become an expert in as well. Right? This is why we we present it this way. There's so many different ways to look at all of this data and look at the market in here. You'll need to go back and study it. How many points does it go through? When does it start to turn around? Okay, maybe it doesn't. Look at the offer coming in here. Now we're down 8 points. Okay, from the figure. All right. Now we'll just wait and watch though. I'm still looking for it here. Okay, let's put some market structure on this. This is a simple structure to look at here. Okay, and look for it. Even in here we can still look at our structure, higher highs, etc. Here they come. Okay, it's breaking the structure. Now we're not there yet. Okay, but we're noting these areas in here, and here. Okay, so probably above 94. If we see exhaustion in here and a strong bid and pulling on the offer, the first test would be up to about 94. And then we can let's see if we have a strong buy and a strong bid here, and then move on up into 4,000. Okay, as a retest. Okay. No trend fighting today. Yeah. Geez, I covered yesterday. Having these biases in the market is, a longer term outlook, but the chart. Just listen to the chart. Listen to the orders. Listen to the participants in the auction. You might be looking at volume profile. You might be looking at something else, whatever it is. Like even in here, our structure is up here. It tested up here, didn't go above it, right? It broke this little trend in here, but all it did was go sideways. And we're looking at basically 94 and then also this 93 area here. There's no reason yet. We're going through this scenario for the potential pullback in here. Okay, but there's no reason in this structure here to start buying. Okay, there is no reason, right? It did not break the structure. Okay, so we got to hold to and be disciplined about market structure. It is just such a key element in here. Right, look at this offer in here, pushing it into this 85 area. Boom. That's another 15 points. Now let's take a look at the volume in here. See how this is going down? Yeah, huge volume here, huge stop run, and look at this move down in here. The volume is very mixed. Look at the dots. The offer, here the order book is just annihilating the auction here. Hey, look at the offer pushing this down. Okay, here they come. All right, so let's look for, they broke this small structure here. Okay, the next one is up here at 88. Does everyone see that, what I'm talking about right here? Okay, at 88 right here, and then we're looking for buyers above it. So you can even trade up to 88, take some off, and look for the continuation here. Right now, this is not a trade recommendation, but I'm saying like a look for the structure to hold. Okay, and then look for the move back up into kind of top of the range here. Okay, so anyway, let's watch again in here, and we'll look for it. Okay, and we'll look for a microstructure to break. Okay, here's a little microstructure that broke, and it just tested up to here. Same stuff we cover. Okay, now again, now here they come, looking for the top of the range in here, 86.5, 87. All right, so here's our microstructure. Okay, guys, just not fast enough here to cover this, but and there it is. Take some off and look for continuation here. Okay, looking for what, our 88 and looking for 90. All right, it's breaking this structure up here, or just testing. It hasn't, It's broken it. It hasn't accepted above it though, but we're still looking for that. All right, so let's get into it here. And again, these are tough trades. We're looking for a big distinction, and we can kind of see it in the volume in here. And this offer that was just relentlessly pressing it down into 85 here. Okay, now let's see if these guys mean business. Are they going to stay in the order book here? Maybe they'll just pull and we'll come back all the way to like our 92 area up here, 93. All right, so before I get ahead of myself here, let's look at what we were covering in here for microstructure, and you can really get into this. Is one of the nicest things about Bookmap. Other software, you're just not going to see this, it's just again, it's simple stuff. Starting to see a cluster of buying, and then we're looking for it, right? We were looking for it, but they're getting filled here at 85, and then we saw this move lower. Here's our structure. Here you can even see it here. Okay, here's our structure. Here's the break of that microstructure. Okay, this is only some seconds here. So yeah, consider that it's not truly microstructure, but when you really start to zoom in, then you're talking about microstructure. Seconds, nanoseconds, microseconds, milliseconds. That's microstructure. Anyway, we broke that one. We broke the next one, looking for it to come up and testing these. Guys, we've covered this so many times in the past. And then, okay, now up to 87, right? Take some off. We got our pullback, all right? And let's see if they come back in. Okay, pretty steep pullback all the way to where? Look at this. You just can't make this stuff up. To this area here. This little move in here. All right, now look at this. Lower high, pretty strong buy volume in here. Lower high. Okay, so buyers are kind of struggling. They need to break it. They need to break this for this to come back up into what our 90 level. Okay, let's just take a look here. I really like this 90 level here. And then, our higher levels up here. God, this is turning into a mess. All right. Okay, any questions on this stuff? All right, understanding market structure. Okay, our 90 level, horizontal line here, 90. Okay, up here, a 93. All right, now let's go through our structure in here. Okay, here's our higher low. Okay, but here's our lower high. Not getting much out of it. Not getting much. Not ready yet. Made a higher high here, but a lower one here. Right? So yeah, that kind of negates it in here. Right? We got to get up above this one here. Okay, again, higher low. Okay, all right, buyers. Now then, let's see, game on, and up into here. Okay, 88 is what we're looking for. See if the buyers can do it. 88. Okay, and make a higher high here. Okay, it's making higher lows, but this is just it turns into that triangle pattern. Okay, it's not telling us much right now. Yeah, we can look at the order flow within it. Yeah, here's a break of it now. Okay, back into the range. Still, it's looking pretty weak. All right, so yeah, looking to see if we see sellers down here. to press it. Now we got to be careful down here because of this here. This could be the trap and the move back up. Okay, so let's take a look here, and let's outline our trap a little bit closer here. Okay, so we need to see him back up here around 85. Buyers. Not getting it. Continuation with the sellers here. All right, that was a bit trickier, but we noticed the structure, right? We didn't know. All right, now here we go, above 85 or above our line here. Okay, back up to, let's see, 85. Got to get to 85. Buyers, we need buyers. And then we can look for, this is pretty strong buying. Let's see if they can do it. And then break up into, first would be 86. Now these are, like I said, these are tricky trades. It's still making lower highs in here and still making lower lows. Okay, so structure in here, we're still bearish. Okay, in fact, this is a low volume pullback, even with all of this volume in here. Now, there's some considerations in the order flow in these areas here. Now, again, you know, I know I'm getting into some very nuanced stuff in here, but we see this on higher time frames as well. Okay, well, we haven't even looked at the higher time frame yet. We've just seen this move unfold, so we're sticking with it. We'll get to it in a few minutes here and talk about market structure some more. Okay, so again, look at market structure, and here's our move into 80, yeah, looking for continuation. Right, just not enough buyers and lower highs, lower lows. $76, next level. BJ Strong, don't look for the bottom until we start basing. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, you know, I mean, here's what happened. You know, strong move, some small pullbacks in here. You know, just a consolidation period, but we read the structure in here, and we didn't quite know in some of these areas we might get the pop up into 90, and you could still be bearish. But anyway, the this is what unfolded. Actually, it's pretty nice. We weren't quite too sure in here. The sellers came in. We got another kind of pullback in here, which is a low volume pullback. What we want to be careful though about is where this volume is transacting in some of these pullbacks. It can be kind of dicey because here's why. Look at the strong volume in here, and then there's buyers back up above it that can get the squeeze on back up into these areas here. Right, so same kind of in here or in, yeah, this isn't so bad, but in here, if you can get buyers back up above it here at 81, the squeeze is on. All right, so anyway, just some considerations in here. We see that many times as well in the order flow. All right, so anyway, I'm trying to be clear in here and not be confusing. Just we got to go through many different scenarios, and what we are looking at in here can be applied to those higher time frames. All right, lots of questions, so this is good. Let me continue on here. Another VPOC shift. Okay, mine has not. Naked VPOC, okay. Yeah, liquidity here at 70, which is pulling too. Okay, you can see them pull here and add down at 60. Okay, so and we have 50 down below, That's the next figure, guys. This has been a nice move. And that that scenario of through the figure and back up to it and the squeeze above it, not happening. Let's take a look at that. Quick look at that. So here's our 4,000 figure here. Is typically this kind of move here. That's just about right. 4,000 down to about 97.5. About three or 4 points. This is perfect. That's what we look for. And then we got it. This is just such an important part of it, is buyers back up above it here, okay, or back to it, and then strong buying up here to move it higher, and that's where your trap lies. Okay, so that's one of the scenarios to look at. You can see what happened is just a low volume pullback to a cluster right in here. And we'd also look for, and that's not a bad little cluster because it's got a little bit of a consolidation there. And then we got our continuation. Anyway, let's continue on. All right, we're down at 70. Wow, this market is moving. Okay, watching this level here, 72. Volume all over the place, buyers and sellers. Guys, I really like the dots and the bars. I think they tell quite a bit. You know, to be able to see the color and the size in here is what's so nice about the dots is they show precisely where they're taking place within smaller structural areas, like the break here of this one and the break here of this one. But we can also see the volume here, which gives us kind of an overview of what's in this move here. Okay, and we see this kind of stuff here. It's just exactly what PJ Strong was talking about, looking for basing. Okay, instead this is still trending, no question. Again, lower highs, lower lows. John looking for a bit of a pullback for a discount. Yeah. Well, it's yeah, that's where the pullback trading, you know, I mean, a lot of people just swear by it. Like J Trader, we'll have tomorrow J Trader, and you know, he's going to go through here. Look at the strong buying coming in now, guys. Right. So now that's a distinction, right? Pretty strong, and they're going to move it. They're going to move it back up to 75 here, and this might be this is the kind of move that this knee-jerk reaction, or this kind of strong move away from this area quickly. Okay, we might get a pullback, but it's probably going to be very shallow in here, and then looking for more buyers again. Kind of petered out at the top here. All right, so let's see them. There's our pullback now. Again, strong buying up into 75. Let's see here. 76 is kind of a flip of the book, but looking for maybe 78 up here. Okay, and this kind of cluster up here. Okay, here they go. Okay, now see how we notice that just you know, with our eye. Okay, and there's the move, 78 already. Strong move, strong buying. All right. Yeah, don't get involved in this, in the sell side on these will just run you right over. We can get a move even up to, where's our POC? Yeah, it's up here. Where? Hold on a minute. Where is our POC? Oh, it's way up there. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. Guys, look at this. I mean, you know, the just, again, market structure. These transactions, these orders in here that transacted, and also the limit buy and sell orders in here. Like, it's a pullback to these little areas in here. And now this is more than a pullback. Look at the dots. Look at the size. Look at the strength of the moves. Look down here in the bars. This is what we are noticing in here. Now I'm going to zoom in. We're going to kind of peel away from this here. I'm kind of curious to see what happens if we can come back up here and again get a strong buying. It's basing right now. Do we see strong buying up here at the moment? Not really. Okay, we got to see that, and then the pop up into 80, and then maybe well, yeah, back to our kind of 83 3/4 or 85 level here. All right, so what I wanted to cover here was the yeah, this in here, this structure, okay, because we noticed it, and we noticed it earlier, and that's why I was careful with it. Now, so I'm going to go through it here. I'm going to go through this structure in here, and then I'm going to go through a previous structure in here. So we're going to peel away from the live analysis just for a couple minutes here. All right. So what did we notice in here? Still, structurally, we're making lower highs and lower lows. No question. All right. So structurally, we're still bearish in here. Now we're noticing, though, we notice the buying coming in like this, the buying coming in, you know, a buying like it's not so great in here. But again, look at the dots, look at the bars, look at also the liquidity getting filled in here, here, and here. This is where they shifted away. The larger players came in and shifted this away. Okay, and they're leaving this behind. It's not coming back. Well, it actually, if it does come back, this is where it's going to come to. You know, maybe a little bit lower, maybe this little structural area here to that volume node there at 70. That's probably about it. You know, it might not come back to here at 75 if you get strong buying above that. So anyway, the point is that the strong buying in here in some of these areas and the liquidity getting filled. Now, structurally, we didn't get any insight. We were bearish structurally. Here's where they just lifted away very, very quickly. But we noted it with our eye. Okay, we saw that distinction. It's like, wow, here they come. All right, now we're looking for areas. First area would be, well, you know, up into this kind of 72. I forget what I said. Also here, like 73 3/4, I think I said, and then 75. We can also look at this area here, 76, and then also we looked at this cluster up here. Okay, and then look at the move here. Okay, so it is retraced all the way back to this area up here. All right, now look at the structure in here too. Okay, now it did make slightly lower highs and slightly lower lows in here, but this is where you start to see it mount. Again, looking at, you know, the buyers starting to come in here, and then this is just telling us it wants to go higher, back up into 80 liquidity here, and then maybe back to our line up here at 83 3/4. Okay, and that's what it's done. Right now, that structure, what I wanted to compare was this structure here. Okay, that it was still bearish, but we were noting the volume and the liquidity getting filled in those areas. Okay, and then this structure up here. Okay, so again, we noted buyers, quite a bit of buying. We can look at the bars as well, and then in this area in here, this is where there's some selling. Okay, but there's quite a bit of buying in here. Structurally, we really didn't quite know. We're making higher lows, but also lower highs in here, right? So for me, this was more challenging. And then we got the break in here, and then you can start to see the offer in here. The sellers coming in, buyers can't get back up above it here. Sometimes we see this false breakdown, the trap, and then the move back up into this liquidity here. They got back up to about here. That was it. More selling, and then we're looking for that follow through here. Okay. Okay. So anyway, this structure in here, this is where, you know, it's a little more challenging. And then in here, we see this kind of activity a lot. I find this much easier to read, to be honest. They just come in and they're moving the market, and they're going to move it away from these areas very, very quickly. Any questions on that? I'm going through a lot of stuff in here very, very quickly about the transactions and the order book within the market structure. Okay, big question up here. Okay, all of these transactions in here. All right, so let's delete all our drawings in here. All right, and then let's take a look again here. High volume node, okay, of this range in here. That's what we want to take a look at. Okay, it is up. Hold on. Somewhere around in here. Okay, we're there. Okay, they're being tested. There's buying above it. Great. Okay, back up to above this area here. And let's see, can it accept? And if it does, next area, well, it almost made it already too at 90, 95, and the figure. Go figure. Look, this is, I mean, it's, yeah. And then we're back to even POC. I was doubting that one, but look at the strong buying coming in here below that 4,000. This could be a huge trap, okay, on a much higher time frame. Okay, so now so I'm going to take a step back, and let's talk about that, because this POC going down like this, everything is pointing to a really down day here. Look at your profiles. Look at your structure. You know, big move, consolidation, big move, consolidation. That's why your profile looks like this on a trending day. Okay. And yeah, with this very, very strong buying coming in, this would be the back to 4,000 looks the best here on this time frame, on this zoom out view here. And now we don't know if we're going to get that, but look at all that strong buying in here. So back up to 95, and then 4,000, and then let's see if, I'm really curious to see if they can come up and test into this POC, which is at 4,008. All right, now another possible scenario in here. Okay, much higher time frame. Just consider it here. What if we get buyers back up above all of that? Okay, and there's quite a bit of buying in here. Look at this, the reference with the dots and the bars. Okay, maybe back to 40, 50. These are huge swings. Maybe just below it here. This area I'm looking at right here. So I can keep my crosshairs there, and let's take a look. Something like that. Okay, maybe it does half the move. Maybe it can only come up to here, and this area of consolidation and that POC. If that's the case, then we're looking for this. Okay, so different scenarios to take a look at. How are we doing? Lewis, I don't know. What do you? I don't know what you're getting at there. No, just checking. Okay. Well, we can reach over to Doug. Doug, how we doing, Doug? JC, you're welcome. Thank you. I really appreciate that. The just really intrigued by Doug's webinar. I'm fascinated by options and just the complexity and these things. But I was really astounded. I thought Doug just took very complex things and boiled it down to very, very simple understanding, which is very difficult to do. You see Jay Trader do that. You see Scott do that, and Tom as well. All right. So it's really a key element, I think. So yeah, I'm just curious to see if the other team is the kickoff team is off the field in offense, or I guess I don't know, whatever the defense. The other players are on the field, moving the market. Okay, the kickoff has been done. Okay, you traded Tesla today, Doug. Okay. I'm just fascinated by it. Like it's such a good idea, because I for such a long time I would see Hero just going down and going down and going down, or I'm sorry, I saw Hero going up and going up and going up, and then like price is just cratering though. So it's just like, okay, so when is it going to happen? And like, what is there's some sort of delay in there until the market starts to turn around, and then it does turn around, and then it just rockets the other way. Yeah, some really interesting stuff in there. Here, our POC has now shifted down here. Okay, so we just got a shift. And this is the most traded level now. So this is turning into an area where it can transact. It knows it can. The market knows it can transact in this area here, because there's a lot of different participants transacting in here. Again, this is auction market theory, just so simple. This is not, you don't have to read like a Bible to on auction market theory and volume profile and market profile and all these different TPOs and different things. It's really common sense stuff, and just understanding that in the context here of the market. That's it. Okay, so yeah, in here, okay, higher low in here, higher high. Okay, starting to make higher highs also in this little structural area. Okay, buyers, let's see you move it right back up to 95. There we go, right on cue. All right, now enough buying? Yeah, there is. Okay, 4,000. Should be able to hit it. Look at there's even wind at the back here with the limit buy orders here on the bid. Okay, there's some wind resistance here now also on the offer, but still looking for it. Strong buying here. This is crazy stuff. I mean, like we were just looking for that small little move below it, and then the move back up above it. It went all the way down to 70, below 70, 30 points below it for a retest back up to it here. Okay, this is just a low volume pullback at this time right now. Okay, by sellers. Now this would be kind of a good area here, probably around this 92. We can also look at the profile here around 90, and we're not the only guys that are looking at that, or only people looking at that. Okay, there's liquidity in here that supports these ideas. Wow. Hero shifted around 1040. Aggressive buyers and larger traders with icebergs took field around 1050. Wow. You're way ahead of the game, Doug. Well, yeah, I mean, we saw that. We saw this move here. Yeah, I would totally agree with you. I don't see it at 1040. I mean, we were covering that that buying in here, and this was that triangle move in here, or pennant, or whatever you want to call it. And that was kind of a tougher read. And then we got the continuation, and then I like I said, I thought this was an easier read here. Great stuff, Doug. All right, let me get back to some of the questions in here, guys. We're still kind of bouncing around, right? But 90 is this key level here for this move here. If it pulls back all the way to point of control of this range in here, okay, and that's what we're kind of looking at right now. This whole range, hold on, this whole range in here. Okay, so it's right here, and it's playing with it right now, right here. Okay, now we're looking for who's going to take control at that point. Okay, maybe no one. I mean, this is why this is a high volume node. it transacts back and forth in here. It traded up here, made a higher high. Structurally, we're bullish in this move here. Okay, in this time frame. Okay, until we see something different, until we see below here at 85. Okay, all right, here comes a little bit of buying, not much. Can they move it? Can they move it back up to here? 94, 95. Let's see, they're starting to pull a little bit here. It's not a whole lot of buying in here at all. In fact, it's mostly selling, as you guys can see. Looks like sellers, well, we have icebergs on the other side. This is getting really interesting right here. Icebergs on the other side absorbing. They're also here at 89. Lots of selling in here, but they're failing to move that market higher or lower. Okay, now they got it. Now they're pushing through. Okay, back to point of control overall. Again, like even in this whole move in here, you know, we're basically back to, if it's back to 85, you could still be bullish in this move. And we'd have to take a look at this though. Here's a couple of things to look at though in here, and this is where it just gets more complex in the order flow, a lot more complex. This move here, look at the bars, okay, and then this move here, this is where we thought we had 4,000, and we're looking for pullbacks and then point of control from this little range in here. Looking for it, we found icebergs. Looking for it. Nope, sellers push it through. Okay, now they've made a lower high in here. And let's take a look at the move in here as well. Okay, all of the selling in here, pretty strong. This is really strong selling in here that failed to move the market. And then finally it followed through to the downside here. Okay, this is a tougher read. Let's see though. Let's see if we get any buying to just trade it back to point of control here. Yeah, here they come. Okay, bid looks good from 80 on up to 82. Here come our buyers. Here's our move back to point of control. Now, can they trade through it and back up to here? That's a good question. This is where we look for it, right in here. And I don't see it. Not yet. And I wouldn't touch it until here. If I see buyers right here at 84.5, yep. Okay, and let's see them move back up to point of control. Okay, and then up to well, 88 and also 90, or 80, 88 and 89.5 here. Okay, push it through. There we go, 88. Or 89. Pretty weak on the buy side though. All this heavy selling, pretty weak on the buy side. Scenario would be we got to get through 90 on pretty high volume on the buy side. Okay, so again, I like to take some off up here because I know the sellers took control up here, and this is a pullback so far basically. Let's see if we can get a bounce maybe off a point of control. Nope. Yeah, Todd, the huge trap that we were talking about earlier would be something like this rectangle here. We'd have to see quite a bit of buying above 05. And right now, like yeah, there's pretty strong selling, but very strong buying coming in here. And this has been basically just a pullback in that strong buying move so far. Now look, this is not, I just need to emphasize, this is not a trade recommendation. Okay, we're looking for order flow to support that concept. And this is where, as a trader, you've got to do your due diligence. What does it look like? Why did this? Is there anything in here that points to that move happening here? Well, it's kind of it could play out. It could pull back to 4,000 and then fail. I mean, there's all sorts of scenarios, but it's the order flow and the condition of the orders in here, the transactions, the limit buys and sells, that's going to give us some insight, the context between them. Okay, so we can start to look for these little moves to unfold into bigger moves. Okay, so here's our move back up to 89 on some pretty strong buy volume. Okay, great. Can the buyers move it to 95? I think so. Looking at this time frame here, I would look for them to move it back to 95. Okay, we're above a lot of the selling in here. We're starting to test it. Now let's see if these buyers can do it. And Todd, as a newbie, look how fractal these are. Okay, this trap here is the same idea as the bigger one, and we're looking for the move now up to 4,000. Okay, understood? Any questions on that? See how it's selling? We're looking for buyers back up above it. This would be trap selling, and we'd be looking and anticipate also the red line down here to spike to the upside. Looking for a stop run up into 4,000. This is fuel for the move up into this area here that can really get it moving, along with a lot of aggressive buying. Okay, we haven't gotten our stop run. And we're seeing sellers starting to come in a bit. Do we get to 95? Just about. Yeah, no, it touched it up there, didn't it? No. 94.75. Okay, Crypto Surfer, yeah, you've been using absorption. Uh, I'll show you how to play around with maybe some of the settings on that. What's the significance of 95? Okay, let's take a look at it. Okay, it is these transactions here and this liquidity here, and it also starts to mix and mingle into the market structure. Okay, look at the buying coming in now, guys. It looks inevitable. I hate to say stuff like that, but it's just strong buying on this time frame. Okay? It looks good for it to continue and break up into the swing here, and then also 4,000, and we should get the stop run. Okay, we would anticipate a stop run as well. Okay, see how the trap is set like that. See, look at the buying above this large sell dot here. Boom, squeeze, stop run. Okay, small stop run here, looking for a bigger one. Okay, again, market structure, and then the orders and transactions within the market structure. Guys, do you have any questions on market structure? I keep thinking that this might be the element that's maybe not getting across on some of these things, because there's no books on this. Do you guys have any questions on market structure? Maybe I'll put a poll out here. Love using these polls. Okay. Yeah, so and that can be confusing. I understand. Like if there's no reference to it, it's like, well, where are you going to get the information? Well, you're going to get it from here in Bookmap. Okay. Also, our educational course. Let me show you where that is for those newbies in here. I really highly recommend that you go there and go to scroll down a bit here. Bonus materials, order flow education, educational course here. This one. View full playlist. Click on that, and here it is, parts 1 through 4. Please go through parts 1 and 2 at least. Okay, part 1 is probably the most important, then part 2. Okay, the other, they all support one another. It's sequential. But anyway, here I'll put this into the chat for you as well. Nope, pretty straightforward. Okay, I'm so bad. That's really good to hear. It's such a simple thing, and you know, we don't have to look at anything in here. No candles, no nothing. Just looking at market swings, relationship of those swings for market structure, and it works on all time frames. And then what we're looking at is the volume transactions within it. And then we're looking at also the bid and the offer within it. Like right now, let's see, do we get enough? The bid is, look at the bid right now. And we're trying to find buyers, and they're kind of struggling here. Looking for them though, and then a quick move back up. Oh, we made a slightly lower low in here. Okay, so maybe we're not going to get it. We'll see. Okay, so here's the Bookmap educational course in here and also in here. There you go. Yeah, again, Ben, that's a good one. Looking at trend lines and channels, horizontal lines, rectangles, anything that kind of makes market structure. The volume profile is similar. It's just even a volume profile. What I love about volume profile is the simplicity of it, but there are drawbacks to it. It can't handle like the a trend like like a price channel. Okay, all it does is like this little move here, this little trend here. Let's take a look at the profile. Okay, put it within our chart range and look at a single distribution. Okay, with a bit of a P shape to it. Well, we can't understand the swings in here with that. I mean, so there's drawbacks because it's just horizontal. It's just showing it horizontally in here. So just know the different strategies, know the pluses and minuses. That's what's key. Or the point I'm trying to get across, I believe, because yeah, I think it's incredibly useful. I also think it's incredibly useful to look at the swings and these vertical moves here, because the profile is not giving you the vertical. It will if you zoom in. It'll give it to you a little bit better, but it's still giving you the profile of aggregated data over a period of time in here. Okay, now see how we zoom out. Can you see this move in here? No, you can't see that strong volume move in here. Okay, and they made a lower low. Okay, so and we noted the lower low in here too, right? Okay, and we noted the buying struggling in here. So was that information in the profile? This is not for sure. Yeah, I mean the swings are. This is the end of the. That is true. Okay, look at the bid now. See, this is another thing. Look at the bid. Okay, so that's certainly not in your market profile. Well, that's the advantage of Bookmap. With the heat map at least. Now, what's the context of that very strong bid in here at the edge of the profile? Well, they got filled. They got filled in here. All right. The POC just moved up. So looking for maybe a retest of POC here. And let's see if we can bounce off of that and come back up to this one here. Wow, okay, so this market structure stuff is not clear. Okay. Okay, I will have to spend more time on it, which is fine. Wow, look at this move. Okay, here's our 4,000. Todd, can you see another trap in there for after 1125? Can you see that? And can you see the stop run? Here it is here. Let's click back on this, and here it is here. Okay, and in fact, it's between these two POCs, one previous and then current. Boom. Back up, top of the range, broke it, broke the top of the range. Okay. So now let's see, here's a bounce off of here. Now this could be our pullback. Okay, it could also pull all the way back to where it broke out from here, back to POC. Okay, this is where there's more of an art, I think, to it. What is the likelihood here? Well, I don't like it, like to just jump in here at 95 and look for 4,000 because of the structure. You know, there was a lot of selling in here, so I know that there's, in all of this move in here, I know that there's selling in here, right? So a pullback to here is not out of the question. Okay, even though this is a strong move. Now, if this was a very, very strong move, just big green dots here, like we saw back here, okay, like here, look at that, it just hits you over the head. If we saw that, then I would look for a very shallow pullback and continuation in a 4,000 and probably through it. Okay, but due to what we saw in here, this is not strong enough volume. It just slightly broke here, the swing here at 97. Again, market structure. Okay, and then the move back down to here. Okay, POC. Okay, so a little bit of a Frankenstein, you know, putting bits and pieces together of market structure and a little bit of volume profile in here, but it's really market structure and this trap in here. Okay, so Todd, there's your trap again, right in here. Okay, so we went from very high time frame to understanding some of these smaller ones in here. Okay, now guys, even in here, this is looking still pretty good. Okay, I'm going to erase, clear all the drawings, and let's just take a look at this. Okay, higher highs. Okay, lower one here, right? But you know, higher lows. Okay, above POC. Now it might break. We don't know. If it does, back down to the swing here. Okay, and also previous POC here. All right, so let's zoom in and let's get a feel for it. What's the order flow like? Is it going to break? Is it going to accept? Is it going to be a false breakdown and then back above POC on strong buy volume? Is doing a little bit of everything right now. It broke down below. You see some buy volume come in. Okay, so we're not getting really clear insight on that. It's just a move back to POC, and it's kind of just slop in here. Okay, a little bit more understanding in here. More buyers. Okay, it's not the greatest. They did break it though. So if they can buy, if they can bounce off of this area, yeah, we're looking for here. God, I just can't keep up with it. Now we're looking for back to 98. Okay, now watch this one here. All right, so we're looking for 98. Back to here. Okay, higher low, looking for equal or higher high. So here now we have the potential structurally with these swings for the move into 4,000 on this move. Okay, let's see. Let's look at the order flow. Buyers, great. Bid a little bit. Are they pulling here? Yeah, bid looks good. Let's see it. buyers, you've got it. You've got these guys on the hook down here as well. Okay, some profit taking probably. Let's see if we see more buyers come back in. Yeah, I would look for it. Again, not a trade recommendation, but just based on the structure and the volume within it here, and the bid is still supporting it. Okay, and again, we don't know. All of a sudden, it's the close here of the European session. There can be a lot of volatility. Maybe some huge selling comes in and drops it all the way back down to 87. Shall 77. I think what I'm going to do is define market structure. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I think I'll do a special event on market structure. Just market structure. Okay, and then we'll talk about order flow maybe, and maybe we'll do a multiple event here. Guys, this is a beautiful move here. You know, it took a little bit, but you know, here's our move. Okay, just shy of 4,000. This is again why I just love to front run this kind of stuff. I don't have to sweat the pullbacks here. Okay, but still looking for it, and I want to see it go above it. This is pretty strong buy volume. There it is. There's our move. Okay, and let's zoom out. Okay, well, this is the first area here, 4,000. Next one is up here at about 08. Okay, previous point of control, and the swings up here. Okay, Daniel, we went over trap volume and participants like, you know, that sold below an area and then the market snaps away very quickly. And John, or was it Todd, I pointed to again in there. We saw it again. Yeah, and you saw it. Great, excellent. Hey, you know, these are such simple things, but like you know, you'll hear people talk about trap traders. Here you can see them. I mean, we can now outline them. Moreover, what's great here is we look for the stop run. The MBO data is just something brilliant, I think, from Rhythmic. And we have this MBO package that can take advantage of that and see the stop run, because we're anticipating the stop run, you know, to unfold because of the trap. Right, and this is how many times have we been involved down here? Oh yeah, it's going, you know, I'm bearish or whatever, and then it just comes up here. Even on low volume, does not matter. If it can get back up above, the squeeze is on. Typically it's with higher volume, but even on low volume we can see it, and it can come up here and we can just see the squeeze. Oh yeah, we can look at stock, liquidity, carom, volume, whatever. It's all in here. No one has requested looking at anything else. That's why we continue to look at the S&P. This is not my favorite market whatsoever, but you know, this is what's requested. And as long as the movements are good and we can demo, you know, kind of what's happening in the order flow, great, we will. There were some years ago that that was really just painful, so we didn't. Instead, we went over to the NASDAQ, we went over to crude, and maybe even gold a little bit here and there, because you know, we're looking for these moves and these the order flow to follow through. All right, guys. Well, here we are, back down to here, back down to our 94 and this swing here. And sellers are coming back in, right? So this is getting more convoluted, but you can still see we made a higher high. Now it went below this swing here, but looking for a higher low, all right, in the structure. Okay, now it could be anywhere in here, just because it's a trend line doesn't matter. and this is the swing. Okay, this is the trap, and it's also a POC right there. Yeah, this is a rising wedge pattern. Okay, but let's look at the order flow within it. Okay, look where the sellers came in, and we saw this move below 4,000. Okay, so what is it telling us? Well, structurally is the first thing. Okay, so it's still bullish. Okay, until we see the structure break, but we can look at the volume within it, and the volume within it is I mean, we still see more buyers basically. Okay, here again is Todd's breakdown and then breakout, and beautiful even retest back to it here. That's why we draw these things up. Okay, so yeah, I like the NASDAQ, Peter. Yeah, we can take a quick look. Let's look at the multi-book product we have in Bitcoin very quickly. Okay, wow, big move below 20,100 right here. Strong volume. This is quite weak. Look at the structure in here, guys. It's quite weak. Looking for, well, you know, maybe we can get down to 19,500. All right, well, I don't even know where to recap on this. There's a lot of stuff in today's webinar. Talking about, the majority of it was talking about market structure. And it looks like I'm on the poll there. If you want to put your vote in. Guys, if not only your vote, put in a thumbs up if you like this webinar. Again, this, like Shal77, he wants to see, or he wants me to define market structure. Why don't we do a whole series or a whole webinar on it, just market structure, and talk about that in detail, and maybe relate it to candlesticks, because that's what a lot of people are liking or looking at, and we can get a good understanding by bridging that gap. All right, so yeah, please give us a thumbs up. Very, very helpful for us. Okay, subscribe to the channel, and you'll get you know, updates on when videos come out, as well as the schedule for these live events. Okay, guys, so see, like this is what we're talking about in here. Although market structure is looking good in here, the volume within the structure is giving us kind of a clue that this might happen. Now, you know, we never know. It's breaking the structure now. Okay, so it's coming back down. Now, I would anticipate buyers off of this level right here at 88, because there's still a lot of buying in here. And I would look for them to come right back to, from 88 back to 90, and then maybe back up even to like 93 here. Okay, because it's the volume within the structure. You know, it's not just, this is where, like, I just think it's really dangerous to look at this and go, isn't that a rising wedge, and therefore it's breaking it, I'm going to short it here. We want to know the volume within it. We want to know the bid, the liquidity, the offer. What is the reaction here? Are they getting filled? You know, is this going to be a false breakdown and then a move back up into it? Okay, and then due to the buying volume in here, a move back up here into even 94, this area here, is you know, very, very doable. All right, guys. Anyway, yeah, thanks for the likes, the thumbs ups there. We'll continue on tomorrow with JTrader, and also stay tuned for Tom B. He is back, so this will redirect to him, his webinar. So if you're interested in that, see, guys, here's our move, right? you know, if you were looking for that, like I would be taking some off here at 94, 95, 94. I'd be taking some off. Okay, now this is a strong move, but still I'd be taking it off here. There's a lot of selling and buying in here. Just looking for that, right? Go to break even. You know, maybe look for a pullback and scale in. Look for the move back to 4,000. This is why we don't go over trade management too much, because there's so many ways to do it. What we're talking about in today's webinar has been about market structure and nuances of order flow within the structure. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody. Oh, you're welcome, JC and Doug. And I'm so bad. I really appreciate it here. Yeah, we'll look forward to doing more events with you guys, and I think more on market structure, because this seems to be kind of a real important point, and people are a bit confused on it. Okay, so here, let me give you the results here. Okay, well, 55 said is pretty clear. All right, so that's good. We end the poll there, and you can see the results. All right, guys, thanks for coming, everybody. Look for JTrader tomorrow, and we'll catch up with you then. Take care.